Hey now. Now, hey. It's Copy Who in 4K. As far as I know, the one and only Copy Who, with the one and only Paul the producer. That's me. How's my voice sound? It sounds fucked up because I ripped it out on Saturday. And you know what's annoying to me right now? I just got done doing like a 25-minute recording before I realized that the audio from my mixer was not being recorded to the video. So I was like, fuck this, I stopped that, and I would never upload something where the show was recording just from the audio on the computer. Because you know me, I go on about saying what a perfectionist I am. That's not BS. Looking at something on the screen. What is that? What is that down in the corner, the yellow thing? Is it this? Okay. I'm like, what is that? Now we're good. All right, so I just did 25 minutes. I went through all my notes. And I have fucking done this in the past where I've had to stop or start over or something. And I don't like to repeat the same shit I did over. And how do you? Like, so every show is a snowflake. So I got to re-perform spontaneously what I just talked about. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't fucking like that. I don't like that. The weather's been so gloomy here lately. So I go to the weather to entertain. Hey, welcome to Copy Who. The weather today is gloomy. Many days have been. It's a stormy season here in Colorado. Yesterday was especially interesting, and I have a point behind this because we had some heavy rain here over the past several days. And yesterday when we finally got the sun, it was like, what's going on here, slacker Bill Gates? Where's the spray brigade? Motherfucker, aren't you supposed to be out spraying? So it was a brief pleasure. You could even see the mountains almost properly, even though there's still a haze from all the shit assholes are spraying. And I'm so tired of what is essentially you have confirmation that it's happening on one side, and then you still have a side just completely denying completely that that's happening. But today is Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Let's celebrate the people who went before us, shall we? My parents and I'm doing this early in the morning, and my parents and I are going out to the cemetery in a few hours, in about 2.5 hours. Gosh, 2.5 hours. I'm going to go about an hour here still. No matter what, I'm going about an hour. We're going to go out to the cemetery, and then we're going to go have lunch, and then in the afternoon, I'm probably going to go back to the Kava bar to just hang out and enjoy myself. I am liking that. It does feel like a community when you go there and people say hi and you have conversations and stuff. It's refreshing to be able to have conversations with people in this antisocial world. Speaking of antisocial, and repeating what I said in the first recording, I guess I'm a little warmed up right now. I was trying to make the best of this, that the mixer did not connect to the computer like it was supposed to, and I think it's because I foolishly updated the video recording software today before I started this, and I think that's what disconnected it. Making the best of it is what I was saying. I'm like all flustered now. I'm like, fuck, I'm thrown off, okay? So just get on this wave right now, Paul. I'm flustered. Making the best of it. Saying to myself that, what was my rationale? I completely forgot why this was a good thing, because my mind is warmed up. But my mind may be warmed up, but I'm all flustered because it was a huge interruption. As soon as I realized, when I realized, it was like I went to the Rise, and then I heard the sound for the Rise playing off of the computer speakers instead of in my headphones, which immediately made me go, oh shit, the mixer's not even recording to the video right now. And so I paused it thinking that if I just turn the mixer on and play and keep going, that it would be normal. But then I thought, oh shit, that means that the fucking recording is the audio from the computer, and that's exactly what happened. And that's so fucking irritating, honestly. All right, so we're going to go through some of the same fucking rituals right now. I'm going to get my glorious agua right now. I need the agua because I threw my voice out on Saturday, and it feels very hoarse, and I'm not happy about that. Okay. And you know what? On the first recording, I mixed in a dose of CBD. I'm not going to do that right now. Well, do I want to do that? I'll just go through the pretend. Let's go through the pretend shit right now, and we'll mix some CB Dizzle. CB Dizzle for Peasy. Peasy's CB Dizzle in the glass right there. It's the spermicidal visual effect that makes you think a man jizzed in a little bottle and Paul's drinking it right now. Oh boy. Oh boy. At least the camera movements are fucking. Oh man, my mind. What's he cooking? Blah 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 blah. Gooba gabba 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 goo. I could just sit here for an hour and go gabba 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 goo. I hate repeating what's on the list. I was talking about how I finally deleted Hinge. I deleted Hinge. Online dating sucks ass. Dating apps suck ass. There's nothing like nature to facilitate the dating process. And going through things and trying to remember. Well, so what I do is I'm going through this saying, what did I say before? I fucking dumped the dating app. I only had one stinking interaction, and I think it was with a real person, but it was also weird. There were red flags that I didn't like. She was actually pissed off when I didn't respond to her quickly enough on one occasion, and I was like, that's a red flag right there, honey, sweetheart. Like, we don't know each other well enough for you to be getting mad at something. But the pictures I got of her, she was exceptionally gorgeous, half Korean, half Chinese, super hot. The only interaction I had on there, though, and it starts getting frustrating being on a dating app for a long time and no one's talking to you. So, I just somehow the spontaneous first round of what I'm saying I feel like is the best. The second round winds up being awkward as fuck. So I'm going to go through this with some kind of irritated attitude you'll hear from me. Oh, okay. Here's what I talked about too. I'm having trouble with my memory sometimes. Yesterday, I was going into the kava bar and I had my keys in my right hand and I was looking in my left pocket for my keys and I'm like, where are they? What's going on? I can't find my keys. It's like, so this is me repeating what I said before and it's frustrating because it's like, I already said this shit and now I'm doing the same fucking radio twice. So I'm going to try and make it interesting by spontaneously fucking bringing it up constantly, how I'm repeating something that I said before. And to me, it's irritating. I should be able to just repeat it to you, but it's like I keep going back to what I said before. And so instead of it being original, it feels like I'm repeating something and it feels unusual to me. So yes, I didn't have my keys. I'm like, where are my keys? They're in my right hand. I look in my left pocket. I always have this habit after I get out of my car. Fuck this. I'm moving on. Okay. So I have all these notes here now that I don't even want to go through again because I did it already. I even had a Jordan Peterson fucking bit where I was making fun of him because he's declaring now that LOL is sarcastic. And I don't even feel like here's what he would say to me now. Paul, you need to calm down. Shit happens in life, and so you need to get a grip, and it's all right. I spent all this time writing these notes yesterday in the kava bar because I went on Sunday. I was coming home from the mall after buying this new outfit. So I look good. At least I look good right now. I bought this new outfit, and then I went to the kava bar. I was literally in a turning lane, and I was like on this road, and it was like very close and easy to get to the kava bar. And I was like, I think okay. And I got out of the turning lane, went down the road to the kava bar, and then I sat there. And I did a lot of preparation for this show, including writing some of these notes this morning that are lost, indefinitely lost because, well, shit. The part of this show I'm going to want to get to now is the rise because that's where the original content is that I haven't talked about. I brought up Succession. I said I thought that I was talking about how I forgot my keys. I also was wearing my headphones because because I was talking to my cousin and I was looking all over my house for my headphones when I was about to leave to go to my parents' house, and I couldn't find them, but they were on my head, and I was talking to my cousin, and I started reading a book about David Rockefeller. Maybe if I get back into the sunglasses, I will appropriately get into character. David Rockefeller, reading this book about David Rockefeller. I will say more about it on another day because what I already said, it's just interesting, the eye in time. I'm a avid book reader, and it's interesting to see how these people lived. He was born in 1915. His father offered all of his children $2,500 if they made it to the age of 21 without smoking cigarettes. And so in 1936, if someone gave you $2,500, that's a shit ton of money for the time period. I was wondering how much that would be worth today. I talked about the Succession series finale, which I don't feel like even talking about now because that's like when I just discovered that the stupid mixer was not hooked up. And I know it's hooked up now. Everything is fine now. Everything is fine now. And I have to remind myself of that. I'm 11 minutes in now. And so maybe without trying to stretch out this front part, I think I should move on to doing what I like to do right now. And we do have the shit is fucking, it's proper right now. That's all I'm saying. I had a whole idea for the rise, which without the first part now may not make sense, but I'm going to make the rise about Succession, okay? The new rise. My rise. I was saying before, I own the fucking thing now because I have taken the idea and I've made it better. And if you want to keep it yours, you make it better, okay? Inspire me to keep... In fact, I keep thinking about how can I keep going and making it better. I'm going to go like this right here and now. I'm going to go a beep, a bop, a boop. Now we have it working. I can hear the sound is working now. All right, everyone, welcome to the new rise. Happy Memorial Day. May the powers of the U.S. Constitution rise again from the dead, since the Constitution is dead. Siobhan Roy is a fucking asshole. You fucking asshole, the way you stabbed your brothers in the back. It must be so sad having billions of dollars. Oh my God, that's so sad. Boom! Oh, the poor Roy children. They're both worth like $2 billion each. Oh, the poor kids. Siobhan did not win. Her husband won. They all really lost. Siobhan made them all losers. Way to go, Siobhan. She's so miserable. Oh yeah, she has a husband now who's in charge of the company, not her. Oh, what a miserable life. This is what I've always wanted. I always wanted to take over from my father. Poor Siobhan. Poor fucking Siobhan. Fuck you, Siobhan. Because you stabbed your brothers in the back, and you're like, if I can't have it, none of us can have it. You shouldn't have it. I don't think you'd be good at it. Whatever, Siobhan. Suck a big D. I don't like that character. I mean, like, especially this season, seeing the way she stabbed her brothers in the back, I found it very off-putting. Naughty, Siobhan, naughty. Shame on you. I can't get over it for myself. I just can't. That's my new Succession wrap-up. This is the second recording of this show today. We're 13 minutes 54 seconds into the show, and somehow I have to fill a whole hour being interesting now after blowing the original recording of this. Okay, I have blue sunglasses. Did you notice my blue sunglasses? They're blue. And I guess you still see the ring light when I go up like that, but the blue does match other blue in the room. The blue matches on this shirt here. Nashville, baby. I took a trip there and a couple times, and I frankly loved it. I love walking up and down the main drag there where it's like any time of day there are people performing music on acoustic guitars. I love acoustic guitars. I love acoustic instruments. I love the electronic music as well. I love classical music. I love heavy metal. I love classic rock. I think good hip hop is good hip hop. I think good folk music is good folk music. I think good country music is good country music. I never would have conceded such things when I was a teenager. Okay, I'm free. I'm free right now from the problem I was having before, which was I didn't want to repeat all the same shit that I said again. I was finding that very hard. But now the fresh mind is waking up again. I'm now into the fresh mind. I never would have conceded in high school that I liked anything other than rock and roll and heavy metal. That was it. I would like, screw all that stuff. I like Yanni, people. That's my guilty pleasure. I like Yanni, new age performer. He's written a lot of beautiful compositions. I used to learn Yanni songs on the piano by listening and imitating what I was hearing when I was younger. And I can't do it now. Forgot how to play those. I'd have to relearn them. But that's what I did when I was a little kid. I used to learn Yanni's songs, and I would listen very carefully, and I would note by note, step by step, teach myself what I was hearing from his music. I like Yanni. I'm not sorry. I'm not ashamed. You can say that's gay until you're blue in the face. Yanni dated a beautiful woman for a long time. What's her name? Evans? Linda Evans from Dynasty. Before she went all fucking plastic face, she looked pretty good, and she was dating Yanni when she was much older than he was, and I don't know why he wanted to date a woman tons older when he could have had any woman in the world at the time. One of my favorite recordings is Live at the Acropolis. I would play it here now, except it would be a copyright thing. Maybe I will play it eventually, though, because I love it. On Friday, I played a Tommy Lee song, and as I thought, it said like there was a copyright issue, and it didn't affect my video. There was no strike against me, but still, I get this feeling of, yeah, there is some kind of downgrading of how you're going to let me be out there if I'm taking copyrighted music. But I want to be able to comment on stuff that I like sometimes. So I decided, even though there's going to be the copyright issue, I'm not monetizing these videos, so it doesn't matter that I do that in terms of unmonetizing the videos. And so I will occasionally be taking songs and just playing them and enjoying them and seeing what silly stuff happens, because the soundtrack of my life is part of my life, and I feel like it's incomplete here when I can't express myself that way. And I just wish there were more latitude in society creating a digital art form like this. When I'm making commentary, it's supposed to be like, to some extent, allowed to use copyrighted materials to make commentary. That's the whole fucking message at the top of this thing. So it just bugs me when I can't comment on things. I see people taking clips from Netflix and commenting on those, and clips from movies. I would love to be able to take clips from movies and copy on those and get the whole fucking cultural palette going here. You see how easy I flow when I'm not following notes? It's like my mind is just, I'm flowing down a river, and it leads me here, it leads me there, and I love that feeling. But then if I'm trying to recreate something I did before, it just doesn't work the same. And I'm going to stop bringing that up now. We're just going to do good show. Right now, it's time to start doing the good show. I am pleased with doing things in 4K. My voice is hoarse. I don't know if I mentioned that in this recording, but it's hoarse because on Saturday I was abusing it a little bit, and I went too far, and I can't sing, "Here's my falsetto." It's not clear at all. It's very torn up and hoarse, and if I do that, I'm going to destroy my voice, which I think is a pretty decent singing voice. Not necessarily tooting my own horn. LOL. Oh, hey, Jordan. Jordan says that if you say LOL, it's narcissistic. I'm going to try and like still riff off of that thread. Jordan suddenly cut off the ability of people who are not mentioned in his tweets to respond. And the other day I did respond. So narcissistically, I was thinking, did he just block me? But I checked from another Twitter. He's insecure in that way, but I understand a lot of people come after him harshly. And you can really only understand that feeling by living it. When you have some meaningful notoriety, you may get adoration from a lot of people, but then you have one person who says something incredibly rude, and it just kills your spirit inside. that one fucking criticism sometimes can be so cold and inconsiderate to the other person. And so I did goof on him in a tweet a little bit. I was like, hey, oh, okay, Jordan Peterson, as a psychologist, he makes these declarations. I think that saying LOL is narcissistic. And I don't think it is narcissistic, always. It depends on the personality. Like, it depends on the moment. It depends on the context. But so even a brilliant mind like Jordan Peterson, who has so many insightful things to say in life, winds up generalizing about things, and I find that irritating. But it's not like I don't generalize sometimes for entertainment purposes. But he's an intellectual, this highly esteemed professor, psychologist, and he will do that. And I'm skeptical about everyone in certain respects because, like my dad says, we're all fucked up. It's just like, to what degree? Thank you, Dad. Inserting his way into the show today. Good sagely advice coming down from the big C. My dad's name is Carlo, so some people in my life used to refer to him as the big C. And when I was little, it bothered me a lot. And now it's like, what the hell did that bother me for? I just let my friends get a rise out of me when they refer to my dad as the big C. And I got older and I realized, shit, my dad is one of the coolest cats in my life. And so, like, why would I give a shit if someone says the big C? My dad's the man. He has been the man, and he's like been a profound influence to this man. Let's see what's on the list. I don't feel like flossing right now because I was going to do that in the previous recording. Let's see. Okay, so I will begin with this. This doesn't have any sound. This is something I'll take you over here really quick. Something's going to change soon. I will have whatchamacallit. I bought actually, hold on. I'm going to come over here and show you like this. I'll put that over there. Take this out over here. I bought one of these. This is an Elgato Stream Deck, and it's not wireless, so I expect it to work fairly well. I'm going to try to see if I can hook up my lights to this device, but I have a feeling if I hook it up to anything wireless, it's going to be choppy and unreliable. I'm going to hook it up so that I can switch cameras, and hopefully even like when I'm zoomed in on something over here, that I won't have to zoom out of it to see if I'm on the correct camera. I'll just be able to hit this button and I'll know for sure. But I want to hook this up. It'll make the show function and mix better. Getting that out of the way. Wanted to bring that up on the last show, but back over here, I got this tweet. Actually, what I did was I tweeted out to Gad Saad about his book. I took this picture of his book on top of my keyboard. Novation Ultranova is the keyboard, but The Parasitic Mind is the book. And I said to God, sincerely loved it. I was going to buy it. And then my cousin surprised me with a gift copy. I especially appreciate the feeling like I'm not crazy as I'm portrayed by some infected folks, friends, and family. Folks. I don't think you pronounced the L in that. Anyway, thanks, God. Peace. And so the man was gracious enough to like my comment. Thank you, sir. Thank you for validating me. It's especially nice hearing back from people sometimes. If you can do a little thing like a like to, I've said this in the past, if you can do a little thing like a like to make someone feel good, that's a nice thing. So sometimes but sometimes the way I like is not, it's not inherently equitable between everyone. There are hot chicks who put out sexy pictures of themselves. I will never like that from a woman. I don't comment. You know what? That's not... like, women I don't know especially, I get skeeved out by guys who, like, it's just guy after guy. Oh, yeah, babe, you look so hot. And it's like, you realize you're simping by doing that, right? And so I avoid simping when I can avoid simping. There's one girl I went to high school with who's got such awesome fashion sense. And as a person, I like her on a personal level. And so sometimes she posts pictures up with her family, and she's not doing it in this sort of bragging selfie way, but you see her like standing there with her kids, and I'm like, whoa, she's got style. And so I told her in a private message recently that her style is awesome. And it's so that's like a sincere compliment. It's not me like, hey babe, I'm simping with you. It's just honest that she has an amazing style. So felt compelled to say that. In fact, this same person in high school, I used to do this really fucking dorky, stupid thing that I'm ashamed of. And that was I used to roll up the bottom of my jeans. I used to tie them really tightly around my ankles and roll them up and she said, "Don't do that. That's lame. That's stupid." And she so was right about that. I should have stopped doing that a long time ago, a long time prior to her telling me. But so it's not. So sometimes I feel like writing her and being like, "Hey, Monica, can you give me some fashion tips?" Because I know she's got the sense for fashion. And sometimes I want to be like, "Hey, give me some pointers. Dress me. You want to, I know you're married and it's not like that, but you want to meet me at the mall and help me pick out some clothing because I'm exceptionally cheap and I'm exceptionally, so it has to be a bargain. I like going to clearance items. This shirt was only $13 and to me that was a bargain. Before it was marked down, it was like a $34 shirt, which I think is fucking ridiculous for a regular t-shirt, but $13, I can wrap my head around that. $15 for this shirt, very good fabric, very comfortable, cool design, cool concept. This coat was on sale too, from 75 to like 45. That's a pretty good percentage discount. And when I bought it, I didn't know that it was discounted. I just went up to buy it for 75, and and then she's like, the total comes to like 48 something something. And I was like, "Oh, discount. I love when you get a discount on something and you weren't expecting it." That was super fucking awesome. But anyway, Monica has style, and I was talking about liking comments online. Liking comments, especially for self-absorbed people. I will like people when I feel like emotionally, when I give out a generous like is when I like something someone did. That person doesn't have an especially big following, and they probably feel like, wow, I put things out there and no one gives a shit at all. So I like it because I genuinely like it. And I like it because it's something I want to give people that I think are nice and doing good stuff out there in the world. I want to give them that dopamine for me. I'm a dopamine giver. If I could give you 1,000, some people 1,000 likes, I would, because I want them to feel good. Because good people just deserve to be validated sometimes. They deserve to be acknowledged. Recognition makes you feel good. And so actually it does matter to me when people like these videos, when they comment on these videos. I'm super grateful for that. It makes me feel pretty darn good that I'm putting in some kind of work that impacted someone in some way. Whether I made you laugh, whether I made you think about a concept, I'm grateful for that. I'm not nearly the same personality I was on Friday. Every day I'm slightly different here, and I do kind of like that. Like being silly. But at the same time, I also like getting serious once in a while. But I can't remember if I said this in the last recording or this one, so I will say it now. I have a book called 10X. I don't remember the author, and the author basically says that if you want to succeed in life, you have to... if you imagine you need to do X amount of work to succeed at what you're doing, the truth is you probably need to be doing 10 times the amount of work. That's why the book is called 10X. And so I kind of feel like that goes into every detail of this, visually, audibly. Every little fucking inch of improvement matters. And so you keep pushing the envelope and doing better. And that includes with the performance art, with the topics I'm bringing to the show, with the passion, with the humor, with the level of, sometimes not always with the volume, but if it's volume in conjunction with something creative that combines to make something funny, like a bee up your butt, bzzz, in your butt, literally a bee in your butt. I don't know what it is. Whatever stupid thing comes out of your mind that makes the moment better is something you should indulge in. And sometimes that's the winning formula. Although my philosophy was when I was younger, just blurt out whatever the hell is in my mind, no matter what, without any regard for consequences. But now I tend to second guess certain things a little bit, and I think that's a byproduct of maturity. And that advice and that influence came from Howard Stern at the time, because it's something I heard him, like, as soon as I tell myself I shouldn't be saying it, that's what I know I should be saying. And at the time, that sounded like good advice. But as you live it, you realize you say and do a lot of stupid things that wind up not helping you in the course of life. In fact, they make you look stupid, or you wind up offending people. I did things back in the day that I'm not proud of. One thing I'm really not proud of is I actually got this from Howard Stern, and I was trying to take it further in terms of being crazy at the time, and that was to, oh shit balls, it was to literally pray to God for people to die. Certain specific people, I would say, will you please, God, I want that person to die. And I'm not proud of that at all. I do look back on it with some degree of shame and some degree of, well, that was funny at the time I did it because I was a crazy fucker when I was younger. But when I think about it now, the manner in which I've grown and developed as a person, I don't feel good about it. And I look, it's like, so that didn't wind up helping me in the end. And now I just think of it in terms of a little bit of shame, the stupidity I indulged in. So sometimes I still engage in stupidity on here. So I watch it because I'm always trying to refine. And on Friday, I was so over the top. And after I was done, I was all like pumped up and proud of myself. And then I went and viewed it later on, hours later. Oh, that's another story I have. That's kind of interesting. Hours later, I reviewed it and I was not happy with the way it made me feel about myself, but there was something profound. Okay, I went to the kava bar. Oh, shit. Now I don't want to go into I don't want to say what I was going to say. Never mind. I'll bring it up in a different context. I should not have divulged where I was when this happened. So I'm not going to say it now. And I have my reasons for not saying it because it's important to me that they succeed and they do well. Be that as it may, my state of mind was different when I viewed it later on in the day. I watched the premiere. I've been putting it up as a premiere at a given point in time on YouTube. And it was interesting because like 5 other people were watching it live. They didn't bother commenting, but they were certainly watching it live, and I found that interesting. But I just felt self-conscious about it in a way, and I want to tell you why I felt self-conscious about it. And if I actually revealed everything that I just said I don't want to tell you, you'd be like, oh, I get that. I'll probably share it with a family member personally, but not on here. And then like the family member will go, oh, okay, I see why you don't want to reveal that. But I'm going up to the next video right here, okay? I need the stimulation. I apologize, actually. No, I don't apologize. I take that back. Fuck you. If you're sitting there thinking I'm out of it, I am. And I'm not going to say I'm sorry for it because I've slept poorly the last couple days. I haven't been the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I am going to point this out, though, about this aspect of... there was one little snafu of the stupid show I did on Friday, which really bummed me out. It was after the fact that I noticed it. Because I thought I did such a good job. It was after the fact that I noticed this. So if you come here and you see this, I'll zoom in here for you on my neck. You see that right there on my neck? That's my cross, which is supposed to hang in the front of me right here under my shirt. But it was on my neck the whole show right there. And that was bugging me out as I saw that. not happy to see my cross poking out like that. Let's see if I can take it to another point in the show where let's go like this. Nope. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. Play, you bastard. Play, you bastard. Oh, boy. It's still there, of course. Throughout the whole show, it was just poking out like that. And so that irritated me. It demonstrated a lack of perfection on my part that is uncommon. There's always one little thing that fucks up. Today's fuck up was the mixer wasn't connected, and so all these things, I try to keep a mental fucking bank of what has happened. Like the other week, the autofocus was on, and that jacked up a whole show. And that show got more fucking views than any other show I've had in a long time. I think it got almost 300 views, which is, it's not a lot in the world of big numbers on YouTube, but it was substantially more than I'm usually getting. And that just kind of blew my mind a little bit. But I thought I'd show you how I'm mental about the imperfections. When I sang karaoke last week on Tuesday, I sang a song from Danzig called I'm the One. And on the very last so I know my voice. I know what my voice is capable of when I use it because I've practiced with it so much. But I went to hit this high note on the last line when I should have just sung it an octave lower. And so I fucking tapped out, and you could hear how it was outside of my range, and I was like, fuck, why did I fucking do that? If I had sung it at the normal pitch, it would have been perfect. How far am I into this right now? I'm 36 minutes in. How did I even fill it without even watching these? So I'm going to this next clip here is interesting because it's a clip from George Carlin talking about religion. And I couldn't find another clip from him last week that I like because, oh man, the fucking imperfections. Because I just didn't put it aside when I saw it, and I should have. And then I thought, I want to comment on what he says about religion and stuff. So let's watch this right now.
The people are fucked. We'll be gone.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs had their chance. There was an age of reptiles. Now it's the age of primates. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the insects next. It's not up to us. It's not divinely ordained. We're here on chance.
That's where I disagree. Like, you can't cite all the things you said in virtue of being a finite person. You were a finite person, George Carlin. Admittedly brilliant, admittedly insightful in so many ways. And this is what I would have told you in this conversation. You're finite, and you can't extrapolate such wide sweeping generalizations about the nature of infinity. How do you know, in terms of intelligent design and there being a God there, that there was an intent behind it on this infinite, inconceivable level, because we are finite after all? How do you know that there was no divine intention behind the existence of, like, dinosaurs even, or bugs potentially rising up to become the dominant species on the earth? Anyway, I love this guy. Let's continue hearing what I'm saying, because you've heard enough of me this morning. God knows.
The planet will heal. The planet will heal because that's what it does. It heals itself. It's a self-healing organism. It changes and grows. It'll incorporate all of our dead cities into itself, and it will become something else, but it will still be going around the sun.
Like, along the lines of what he's saying, I think life on Earth is a constant state of revolution. It's always changing like that. And so no matter how it is today, no matter how that seems normal, there's this constant progression to something radically different. It's not just going to stop at some point unless the world literally gets destroyed by something cosmically smashing into it. I don't know. Or the fucking four horns and the four horsemen, and they just do their whole fucking Revelations thing. You know, because here's one of the things I want to point out to him. It's incredibly strange how certain aspects of Revelations in the Bible, that's what trips me out. That's what freaks me out. You see how certain things seem to be happening in the world, and these things were written about thousands of years ago, and it's like, whoa, how could they have conceived of that then? And it feels like to me, we are in some kind of end times where profound changes are afoot.
At least a few more billion years or whatever. So this whole thing, we have to save the planet. No, dude, you never know.
Any conceivable moment you could have this thing hurling through space that's a global killer, and it could be so big that it smashes the living shit out of the whole planet, not just some global thing that releases a bunch of energy and the surface is all wiped out. Like this has happened before in the past. Giant collisions of the Earth before what we know as Earth now settled into what it is. And it's constantly morphing and changing. I get that, dude.
Landfill, that's too short-sighted. It doesn't do anything. You have to change yourself. And we'll never do that because the dollars now, everybody wants $1 and a toy. Everybody's got a cell phone that'll make pancakes and rub their balls. So nobody wants to rock the boat. Nobody wants to change.
If I had a phone that could cook.
And we're in a nice downward glide. I think we squandered great gifts. I think humans were given great gifts. Walking upright, binocular vision, opposable thumb, large brain, making tools. Make tools, large brain, make better tools. Talk, have to like language. You check this foot in here. We learned language, the brain got bigger, language. We grew.
Oh, yeah.
We had great gifts.
Of course.
And we gave it all up for both for both money and God. God and man.
No. I don't agree with what he's saying at all. Like, he's being very dismissive of the potential for money to bring about new realities. You can mobilize energy with money, and therefore when you can mobilize all kinds of people working for you, doing certain things, you can create amazing things. Bridges, streets, buildings, rocket ships, airplanes, cars. That's what money does. It creates all those things, all these wonderful things. And they're not just, I'm not just speaking of things in a superficial material sense, but things that also give you a sense of, they give you utility to use it in a certain way. So come on, man. You're smarter than this. I know you're smarter than this. Oh, and God inspires people. See, dude, you're dismissive of how in the Bible there's a story there that inspires all kinds of people to become better people. And there's a moral foundation, a moral basis by which a lot of people live that I think has served humanity exceptionally well over the years, especially in this era we've been in a lot of ways. I think you can tie a lot of benefits to our era that we live in to the blessings of the foundational, the Judeo-Christian foundational society, okay? So he's very dismissive of certain things, and he's a brilliant man, but he's making wide sweeping generalizations here.
Both. We gave it up to the high priests. It's your job. It's God's will. That's what they say. People say it's God's will. That means God can do anything he wants, so why pray? They say you pray for something. Okay, he didn't answer my prayers. Well, it's God's will. Well, if it's God's will, why did I even pray in the first place? He's going to do what he wants anyway. We gave
Fair enough philosophical questions, but I think they oversimplify the whole fucking equation of life. I don't think we can know answers to a lot of... So I'm a philosopher. I'm totally down with all the questions he's asking, and I think there are certain questions I've learned where there is no satisfactory answer, and you have to just kind of acquiesce to this imperfect reality not giving you what you want as far as satisfying, fulfilling answers.
Up to superstition, primitive shit.
Yeah.
With invisible man in the sky looking down, keeping track of what we do, make sure we don't do the wrong thing. If we do, it puts us in hell. And
I'm going to point out that you're finite, I'm finite. We are not infinite in nature, each and every one of us. There's something spirit within us, though. And I point again to the infinite and say that we cannot comprehend that thing. So in the complexity of the infinite, there may be a way that there is an accounting for every moment of our life that translates into, so to speak, God's social credit score. And so you can't say, oh, no, that's ridiculous. Something's accounting for all my actions. And all I'm saying is don't point to infinity and assume. I think this is why people should at least be agnostic. It's the nature of life. I'm telling you, once again, It just fucked me up today when I noticed the recording was all jacked up. Would have been this is a totally different show. This is a unique, like a snowflake type experience when you just have to start over and you have to abandon your notes from yesterday and you have to go mostly on talent. And I don't know. Is it my best? I don't know. Is it my worst? Certainly not. Let's keep going with George.
Forever. That kind of shit is very limiting. It's very limiting for this brain we have. So we keep ourselves limited, and then we want a toy and a gizmo and gold, and we want shiny things, and we want something to plug in that'll make big things for us. And all that shit is nothing. It's nothing. We gave it all up. And Americans, who also had great gifts, when you take the theory of Democrat...
Again, I kind of feel like he's trivializing a lot of things that do matter, a lot of things that provide inspiration, a lot of tools that allow people to do things that are extraordinary. I mean, you're sitting in front of this camera right here. Someone had to invent the camera. It's a material thing, but you're like trivializing it as meaningless. This microphone I'm talking into right now, I don't take for granted. This TV behind me with a display, the whole decoration, all these things you're talking about, they form some kind of creative composite to me. And I am pointing to creativity. Would you have been able to do stand-up if a microphone didn't exist, for example? And so you have a way of generalizing. You're pulling everything in, and you're saying everything. Everything is so fucked up, man. I know it's fucked up. And, you know, like the determination of whether something is superficial or not, George, Carlin, is like the context it's in and the meaning of the interpreter who gets to have the experience of whatever's happening with that thing or that person who's creatively engaged, who's laboriously engaged in some kind of industrial thing. I don't know. I just think he's just too dismissive. It sounds like very cynical to me. More cynical than me, and that's hard to accomplish.
Rule. Self-government. Okay, they started off wrong. They owned slaves. They didn't let women vote. They didn't let people who didn't own land vote. Fine. They got off on the wrong foot. But the ideas were good. But we fucking blew that. We polluted it. We polluted it with this stuff, things, material goods, games, gizmos, toys, gadgets.
I hear you. I hear what he's saying, and it's really easy to become disenchanted with a lot of things. And I actually identify with some of that. I do think that technology, in a lot of respects, I pointed out the utility, the good things it can be used for, but there's also almost, it seems like an equal part bad, that it can take away from the human experience. All these cheesy, shitty things. But so you point to games, like video games when I was younger. It was a way that friends and I identified with one another and we connected on a deep personal level. I can point to all sorts of things, but I also think the way games are now, they can keep you at home. And we used to go to one another's houses and play their video game systems together, be in the same room and laugh. Now over the internet, kids are wanting to go home, and this is what my cousin explained to me about his son describing some of his friends. They want to run home to get online to be together with one another instead of being together with one another like at Billy's fucking house and we play around the house football, which is like what we did when I was a younger kid. So there's this alienating aspect of things and technology. There's certainly the superficial aspect, but there's also these things that have great potential to be utilized in amazing ways that produce something fascinating. And I wouldn't be able to sit here and review what he's saying if it wasn't true about some of those things, some of those tools that bring him in front of me so that I can comment on this now. I've created this composite where I play videos where people are expressing their ideas. It takes a camera there. There's lighting there. There's a background there. There's this whole artistry to it. And then I'm playing it and I'm commenting on it. And even though George Carlin isn't alive, there's almost this sense like he's contributed to the tapestry, the fabric of my life, being able to fucking talk about it. Let's keep going,
Having
buddy.
Possessions. He's got a bigger truck. He says, see his truck? It's bigger than mine. I'm getting a new truck. Here's a big truck. Oh, I'm getting that one. That's what you got a video in it? You DVD too? He don't have a DVD. I got a DVD, you know. Whatever happened?
So everything he's bitching about, I can think of reasons why they're good. I can think of reasons why they're bad. And I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I appreciate very much the philosophical idea. But you hear a lot of cynicism behind it. He's frustrated at his age and stage in life, and I get that. I'm fucking frustrated for a lot of the same fucking reasons. I think Facebook and smartphones in particular have really fucked up the human experience. So this is an area where I think you would agree there's some overlap in our philosophies. But he's generalizing too much. Cell phones do a lot of good for me, and they can also represent a lot of bad. And the disconnection from people is where I see the bad. I think Facebook has fucking done a savage job to social relations in Italy. I always referred to Italy as this place socially that is extremely special and unique, and you can just see it if you experienced it before the advent of the smartphone and now. They've lost something immensely priceless, and sadly the things that took it away don't have to give anything back to compensate, to remunerate for what they've lost. I'm going to use my vocabulary when I can. You know why? To better you.
That's what happened, and that's why I'm divorced from it now. I see it from a distance. I give myself a divorce. I said, George, emotionally, you have no stake in this. You don't care one way or another. So watch it. Have fun. You know what? I say it this way. When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show. And when you're born in America, you're given a front row seat. And some of us get to sit there with notebooks. And I'm a notebook. And oh my God, you just...
what is there's not a term for this, I don't think, ethnocentric, like what he just said. Like the front row seat to the freak show is living in the United States. And I think the front row seat to the freak show is anywhere in the world, in any context where someone has the intellectual wherewithal, the philosophical spirit to realize, oh, fuck, I'm living. It's the philosophical thread that we have where we're born finite, and yet we have this fucking glimpse of the infinite, and we're actually so fucking sophisticated we can look up at the sky and go like, whoa, how profound am I that I think about what is that? How? Why? The spiritual nature of humanity to want to express it and explain it a certain way, and the fucking scientific portion of it, the fact that we have reason that makes us think about it. I think that's... So today I'm overcompensating by being intellectually, I don't know. It's the time of day I got all thrown off. I fucking don't know. Every fucking single one of these is going to be different. You got a problem with that? Shut up! I will insult listeners sometimes. I'm not above I'm not going to like try and insult the whole audience to make people go away. But ding dongs, if you don't get philosophically anything out of this, why would you wouldn't be listening right now if you didn't get something out of it philosophically, because this is a philosophical conversation right now that I'm having with the late, great George Carlin. Very funny man here.
And I watch the freak show, and I got my notes, and I make up stuff
about it. It's funny he calls it a freak show. I've for a while been calling the media the blinding light freak show, and it's a combination of a song by a band and my own amalgamation with a word, blinding light freak show. Actually, I call it a freak show, and it used to be called the Light Show. I want to say it's called Blinding Light Freak Show or Light Show. I don't know. Onward. Oh my God. Fuck me today.
And I talk about the freaks, and the freaks are all humans, and they're like me, and they're all the same. We're all the same. I'm not better. I'm not different. I'm just apart now. I'm separate. I'm over here because I put myself out of the mix. I don't have a stake in the outcome. I'm not a cheerleader for a given outcome now. Oh, they say if you scratch a cynic, you'll find a disappointed idealist. And I would admit that somewhere underneath all of this, there's a little flicker of a flame of idealism that would love to see it all change. But it can't happen that way. And incremental change, it just seems like the pile of shit is too deep.
Dude, really cynical view. I hate saying that there's the part of me that on my gloomy days I'm agreeing with what he's saying. And on my better days I have some kind of optimism, some more unambiguous optimism. Like I'm hoping that there are enough people that can divert us away from a really bad outcome, but it's really hard not to look at the totality of the world. We didn't see the totality of the world, human beings, like 150 years ago like we do now. We are inundated with a lot of negative in reality, and it's exhausting. It can be really exhausting. Here's the next video I'm pulling up. What includes paid promotion? I'm going to skip through that paid promotion. So here we have this dude named Paul Bauer from the Come On Man podcast, and he's talking to Rollo Tomassi. And I just wanted to hear a little bit of what they were saying here. I thought it was interesting the other day when I was listening to it. Play.
The way I like to look at it is like, okay,
This was from about a year ago.
You know, the information I'm getting from people like in to be transparent, I know you've been critical of him in the past. This podcast is born out of a group of men that are studying Corey Wayne's book, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of my content is Corey Wayne based, but I've been trying to get him on the podcast for like 6 months now, and I can't get a call.
I think he's probably too good for it, and I think it's pretty cool that Rollo graced you with his presence. I was just listening to Corey Wayne before this started because I wanted to have contextually an idea of the guy they were talking about. And I was agreeing with what Corey Wayne said about most things, except it goes back to what I was saying. I quit using Hinge, and that those notes were supposed to be tied into what these guys were saying. I can't stand the dating world being online these days. It's not a natural evolution. I think people fare better in the natural world connecting. And so there should be fucking no iPad, no phone meetups. Would people be willing to go and do that because they're just they're craving human connection? Yeah.
You know, you like responded to a tweet within like a few minutes. I was like, holy shit.
Well, so, I don't necessarily have I know people are going to find this as a little weird because I just did a video with him in it, but I don't have a problem with Corey Wayne. I don't have a problem with anybody, you know, who's used. What I have a problem with is
Rollo got a new mic. This was about a year ago, and this mic I think sounds hot and too hot, like the tonality of it. And he got a new one now that I was listening to yesterday when he did his live broadcast. It's much nicer now. So kudos to you, Rollo. New mic, good mic.
People use the red pill as a click funnel, as it's their niche market. Like they did some seminar, they go get rich online with a YouTube channel and a Gumroad course and a book and right?
Yeah.
And so pick one of these three fields: fitness, finance, or relationships. And if you're a guy and you want to get into the relationship niche or the relationship field, who do you go and lift material from? Well, probably my stuff at some point along the way.
I'm researching at the moment. I'm researching something about Rollo, and it has to do with Rollo maybe learning a lot of the concepts prior that he decided to repackage and remarket old concepts in a new way to new people, and he did an exceptional job. So I don't think you originated the ideas as much as you repackaged them intelligently for a new audience, and you mastered the concepts quite brilliantly, to be honest with you. And so fuck this. I got to end this now and cut out. I'm short on time this morning. I got all fucked up. I think I'm going to come back to this video. I'm at 1 minute, 28 seconds. I want to continue the thoughts from this in another show, but I'm wrapping this up right now because it's just that time. I've reached an hour. It wasn't my favorite recording I've ever done. I was definitely not boisterous this morning like I was on Friday. And I don't know, like I said, am I manic? I don't know, am I manic? It sure seems like sometimes I might be manic, but I'm not going to take anything for it. I just need good nights of sleep and the right balance of use of energies every day. If you like this, I do appreciate the validation of you subscribing to the channel, liking the video. Put this on in the background when you're doing busy work at home. If you know me personally, it's kind of interesting, I think. I'm going to end by saying, as I always say, and I mean this, peace be with you all. Happy Memorial Day. Shiv Roy can suck a big D.